I'm Bernard Golden, CEO of cloud consulting firm Navica, cloud computing expert for CIO Magazine, author, and Simplilearn course advisor. Digital transformation has an important relationship with cloud computing. That's because cloud computing is the necessary computing environment for achieving this digital transformation. In the old world of IT, most organizations really only needed to focus their software development and operations on a single platform and maybe one or two browsers. IT only had to accommodate very predictable user populations and workloads. But the digital transformation demands that your business and IT capabilities go beyond what is predictable. The workloads, the traffic, the users, and their devices are extremely dynamic and erratic. Mobile phones, smart automobiles, and internet-enabled appliances and health devices have created an explosion of data. That's why cloud computing has emerged as the only suitable way to store, manage, and utilize these bursts of big data. Digital transformation is not about the infrastructure or who can run it better. Instead, success depends on asking, how do I deliver these applications onto these changing kinds of client devices for very different kinds of user populations? That's where DevOps comes in. A relatively new role, DevOps is a melding of the two disciplines of software development and IT operations. By combining these two interdependent but traditionally separate teams, DevOps allows companies to deploy software faster, more frequently, and with greater service availability by enabling seamless communication, collaboration, and automation. That's why DevOps is becoming an increasingly important role for companies in this digital age. With cloud computing, your applications and DevOps processes no longer have to wait for months for infrastructure to catch up. Also, you no longer need to live or die based on capacity planning and upfront infrastructure-focused investment. Cloud computing offers minutes to availability. It's dynamic. If you need to grow or shrink, it's a trivial task to scale. And when you're done taking advantage of that scale, it's easy to turn it back to the provider. If you're attempting a digital transformation and you don't take advantage of cloud computing, you're going to have a really hard time responding to changes in the marketplace. One of the things that a cloud computing platform does is that it enables innovation and disrupts industry incumbents. We've seen that there's been big churn with the legacy players in the technology industry. Platforms like cloud computing enable innovative newcomers to make new offerings and bring them to market very quickly. Here are some examples. Withings is a personal health device company with internet-enabled smart scales, blood pressure cuffs, and smart watches that has used the cloud to literally save the lives of its customers, including Broadway star and legendary magician Penn Jillette. It's literally an example of digital transformation at scale. The Weather Company is another example of how cloud computing allows richer company performance, as it uses cloud computing to perform billions of simulations each day and uses the data to sell to weather-affected industries like agriculture and shipping. Digital transformation is not just for the newcomers. Many mainstream enterprises are also getting into the act, becoming innovators and digitally transforming themselves. And again, they're doing so by using cloud computing as their substrate. Here are some examples. Tractor manufacturer John Deere is now offering cloud-based data services such as weather forecasting, real-time fuel and repair monitoring, and advice linked directly from each vehicle, and even information on specific seed properties and planting recommendations accessible via the farmer's mobile device. In about 2010, the ticket retailer StubHub was struggling under the weight of its own success. Its traditional IT infrastructure couldn't always keep up with the sheer volume of processing thousands of ticket transactions a day. So they built a private cloud that scales elastically. Transaction speeds and sales went through the roof, and their cloud-based infrastructure kept on keeping up. Since then, they've acquired a number of competitors and are in the process of choosing a public cloud vendor to process payments locally in 44 countries worldwide. Now they're looking ahead to use this soon-to-be hybrid cloud to make StubHub even more customer-focused, more engaging, and more connected to social media. This will include features like enabling sellers to use their phone to take a picture of tickets and post them online. Another company, Capital One, has taken advantage of new digital capabilities and cloud computing to deliver innovative services to its banking and credit card customers. In 2016, Capital One was the first bank to enable customers to make voice-activated financial service transactions or inquiries via Amazon.com's Alexa virtual assistant. You can say, "Alexa, transfer $3,000 from my Capital One savings to my Prime checking account." Or ask, "Alexa, ask Capital One how much did I spend at Whole Foods between May 5th and June 18th?" Thanks to another digital transformation of a long-standing traditional business model, you can now also use Amazon Echo to order a Domino's pizza and have it delivered to your door. And soon, that same pizza may be delivered by a self-driving delivery car. In 2017, Ford and Domino's announced a new joint partnership to test autonomous technology to deliver pizzas using driverless tech. You will even be able to track your delivery via GPS. Delivery vehicles represent a great pool of big data that can improve not only the pizza business, but transportation, automobile manufacturing, and even city planning. Cloud computing is the only way to manage that data, especially among separate companies and other entities who can benefit from such continuous data collection. So does this digital transformation really matter to the bottom line? Some of these applications may seem at first sight like mere conveniences, but anticipating customer needs and serving them better in new ways has been the proven recipe for competitiveness and business success for centuries. All this digital strategy is already having a positive effect. At Domino's, domestic same-store sales grew 9.5% during the second quarter of 2017 versus the year-ago period, the 25th consecutive quarter of positive sales momentum. Total net income increased 33.5% for the second quarter versus the prior year period. In 2016, Google applied its DeepMind artificial intelligence to manage power usage in its own data center operations and dropped the electricity consumption needed for cooling by 40% and 15% overall. What does the future look like for the cloud as digital transformation continues? According to a survey by JP Morgan of 200 large enterprise CIOs, respondents said that 41% of their enterprise IT portfolios will be running in public cloud environments by 2020, up from only 16% in 2016. My expectation is that this migration to the cloud will continue to rise, and within 10 years, probably 80% of all applications will be running in the public cloud environment. Artificial intelligence and augmented reality will continue to play a larger role in transforming business processes and strategy, and cloud computing is the only way to make that possible. The pharmaceuticals industry is a particularly good example, as these companies are leveraging cloud computing to perform genomic analysis as part of the drug discovery process, and even AI for faster and more cost-effective drug testing. Virtual reality and augmented reality will continue to create new opportunities for business and marketing. One of the core challenges facing the adoption of VR and AR in the near term is the cost, processing, and graphics requirements of the connected PC. A cloud-based computing model with access to today's multi-core CPU data centers can provide the necessary horsepower to address the demands of AI, AR, and VR applications. An emerging innovation platform called blockchain is poised to transform the way our society conducts everyday financial transactions, the way that Netflix and Amazon disrupted their own industries. Bitcoin, blockchain, and block cloud technologies create a digital currency and a cryptographic cloud-based ledger. This has many leading economists foreseeing an end to physical money. So what is your digital transformation cloud action plan? First, you need to recognize the cloud as an innovation platform and a key enabler of your digital transformation. Not only do you have to build attractive and easy-to-use web-based systems, you also have to make it available on every client that makes sense, especially mobile. You have to harvest user and market data into analytics so that you can really address the demands of your customers and providers. This requires much more IT speed, and without a doubt, the answer is cloud computing. Next, you have to adopt cloud principles of application design. How do you make sure that you've got full availability? How do you make sure you've got redundancy so that any failures don't take down your application? Then you've got to implement DevOps, making sure that you can take code from a developer's fingertips and get it into production as fast as possible. You need to be able to align business units and IT, so if they're all working together, they have the same kinds of development cadences, the same kinds of expectations, and so forth. You need to acquire the necessary technology skills. Fulfilling such new skills and roles comes down to a matter of build or buy, outsource, hire, or train from within. In the early phase of its own digital transformation, the sandwich chain Subway is already hiring more than 150 technology, marketing, and operational professionals to help overhaul the company's mobile app, design self-service kiosks, and other capabilities. Finally, you really need to educate staff in cloud computing to prepare them for the new IT roles. This is really critical. It's unfair to turn to people who have been very capable and very successful in the old infrastructure-based conditions and then demand, okay, make it new, without really investing in them, without giving them the new skills that they need. That's why educating your staff in cloud computing is critical for this digital transformation. The main takeaway from this is that you should understand that cloud computing is a real foundation in the computing substrate for digital transformation. And you need to train and upskill your staff to prepare them with the cloud computing and DevOps knowledge and capabilities they need to make the transition possible. I'm Bernard Golden. Thank you.